The studio was founded in '61, and since then we did over 8,000 projects.
Yeah.
So we go a long way back. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually the third generation, let's say, creative directors of the studio, celebrating 60 years actually this year.
Yeah, we're going to throw a party this year. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we are a little bit different, apart from being Dutch, from other designers, is that we combine the design with naval architecture. Basically, we underpin the design, we make a foundation for the design to generate, basically more value, to make things smarter.
For clients, we're really a one-stop shop. That's what they value, because they're already so busy in their life, obviously. And if we have a good vibe and a good connection, we can take care of the exterior design, interior design, and the naval architecture before to take it to a shipyard.
I think what has changed is definitely that people became more aware of what kind of value a boat brings. That it's really your home away from everything, with your family, and really home away from everything, safely secured home away. So I think that really brought a lot of new insights to clients, and also a new demand, a lot of additional demand. Yeah, a lot of new demand. Yeah.
And also they understood they can actually work really well from the boat. So because of modern communications, or even when you're close to shore, you just use 5G. So that combination of being allowed to do digitally your work, which I think we've all been accustomed to over the past 1.5 years, but for clients particularly, yeah, you can do that from your boat. So it gave them kind of this lower threshold to actually get themselves immersed into a beautiful industry.
Yeah, and I think as such, but that trend was already a little bit apparent before even COVID struck, is that the awareness of having a home at sea, the value of having a home at sea. As such, we recently launched, unfortunately couldn't make it to Monaco, but the 55 steel aluminum 499 GT. And with the 55 meter overall, we are definitely the biggest 55 of the biggest 49 GT boat out there. And the owner wanted, the brief was, give me the most fantastic home at sea. So it's indeed a floating apartment. In full safety, full comfort, with amazing spaces. That's definitely a product which is appealing to a lot of younger clientele, because we see clientele becoming younger. Yeah.
I think this is the beauty, that you can see our industry mature, that it is able to attract indeed first-time buyers on a let's say a higher step-in model than the old-fashioned buyers, where they would first own a 40-footer themselves, drive it themselves, have that beautiful experience, which is also is, and then gradually grow up. So we have a young client, you know, who immediately steps into 66-meter motor yacht without any doubt whatsoever.
But in the meantime, there's also a care conscious of not going too big, because they say, oh yeah, if we go too big, the amount of ports the more amount of nice ports where we can enter is also quite limited, and we want to go close to the beach, and so they are careful that to minimize also the volume in a sense, and then it comes to design to cleverly design and do the space planning of the available space to maximize the experience of the client, which is a very interesting challenge, always.
I think that multifunctional use of space is something which luckily is here to stay, so you don't get these wasted spaces, which allows you also in a smaller package to still have the whole immersive experience of the superyacht without the need of going big, which doesn't allow you to go close to the beach, small ports. Yeah. The natural request of a sustainable design and the answers they're seeking on how they could be more sustainable is definitely something which in a way finally has reached our industry as well. We've been pushing it really for decades, but now it really resonates with clients as well, and they give feedback and more requests, and that's very encouraging.
Yeah, I think a prime example is that we're now doing a 70 meter, which is fully fossil free and also no hydrogen. So all driven by an owner who wants to prove it can be done. So how beautiful is that? That we have an owner fully dedicated and bring a lot of funding to make that happen, and to inspire other owners, but also shipyards. Look, it can be done. On a high level, what you typically see, especially when boats get bigger, you get all this layering. We like to approach it from a more landscaping point of view, breaking things up into split levels with see-throughs and basically allowing for a richer experience while enjoying the boat, while walking the boat. Everybody's always focused front and back, in this long line. So, but how about diagonals? Work more with the spaces to the side. It's space planning. It's really intriguing.
Or how the engine room typically breaks up a boat in two parts. We've various projects on the go where there's a glass corridor through the engine room, and you kind of are able to see the heart of the beast pump. If you want to walk there and the boat is sailing and you see all the revolutions of the gearbox, it's also beautiful by itself.
But also when clients are not really intrigued in that, we can always push the engine room in the front of the boat. Because with diesel electric, you have the electric pods, you have the electric generators in the front, you put a cable between, and in the space in between, you can put the crew, put the guest, connect the guest directly to the beach, which makes sense. Why is always the engine room there in between? So again, you have a lot of flexibility.
Yesterday we had the first sea trial of a smaller, but on a prototype of a hydrogen run boat by us. We've invested in making this prototype because we wanted to really learn from a practical standpoint of view what this means. So instead of just being a design exercise, us having this foundation in naval architecture as well, we're very curious in prototyping things. And feeling and testing it ourselves, and hopefully not blowing them up. But if there's a mistake, we'll at least learn from that. I think that's one of the really recent cool things, because you hear so much people talking about it, but if you don't have the real experience of it, how can you actually talk about it? How can you advise your clients about this, something you've never done or driven yourself? And that's how a couple of years ago we did 2 71-meter LNG ferries, very luxury ferries, but also to get accustomed to what does it mean to run on LNG, on two fuels, and how do you get around safety requirements, which obviously there are, which are different than fuel.
You can tell them a lot, but what's the value of your story? Yeah. So there again, the underpinning by the naval architecture upon our design work that brings a lot of value. And also a lot of knowledge. It's incredible. There's this knowledge spiral which we experience every week, every day. It's really, really, really cool.
Yeah. We're ourselves quite clear. We're really on a mission to make every yacht we can, let's say, zero emission. Then our project zero, the 70 meters, really like the ultimate goal. But even within projects where the owner might not even request it, we're really pushing and just even maybe without them knowing, implementing sustainable ideas so that we can just make these yachts more sustainable. Or one of the most recent things is we'll soon launch, let's say, a science pod which will be in every of our boats, where they can harvest data and send it back to an institute which can control this data. An owner doesn't even have to be bothered with it, but we can do a lot as designers. So I think that area is really a beautiful field to go into, besides the fact that it can be within a beautiful ship, get rid of all these wide superstructures and all these layers and make it much more interesting and nautical in a sense, but in a new era. No, we're very
definitely from a technological point of view, but also from a material point of view. There are now great alternative woods for teak decking but still we see clients still. I really appreciate the environment, but I want to have teak. Yeah, but no. Look at this. So there's an incredible teach to be done by designers, but definitely also by us, because we need to teach, and then they can make the best decision. But we have to teach them up front. It starts with the teach. So there's a lot of explaining, and therefore you need to have a lot of know-how. So
we're certainly entering a very cool era in yacht design. It's a very cool era.